Tongkedo Jesha Jere Zandro, Jinjamado de Jabonjamba, Serja Lumba, Davra Jipek, Shajabe Jadon Guzanzar, Danan Zara Domja, the Lama Labala Jizozon, Lazon de Jamzon Ala, Dindri Don Jendra Bergele Zor. Da Montune Dara Purpa. Kanyamlin tikone mande hyare dane ta taben zong gomben chang jupuso som dane kola ndordichi hyusimbare tene ta dike ma oni tara dep sarpate ke dema yebak ngotna doa dan dikapso purpa yederembe sungayore den zanda Garchen boring atso hagogoya dan den e ma tsek ton man dona ranzong rikput zarzo tingna ansu sog kor yishi tower shar chabdar yishi purpa chuyeng so temne ninzin tokso chubar hyoso 단데 릭바 이시지 퍼바 스퍼바 나바 이야나가 담보데 릭바 이시지 퍼바 쇼가요레 저단 퍼바 걸 가는데 힘만보 휴심바이 퍼바 히바는 나랑도 설라다라 삭자베나 살은 진도야 퍼바한도와 는 춘동리 동거 토라 이담 퍼바 유노 코랑 게 그족데 용수족 바데 purpa chadu yobare. Teke purpa ke tu tete purpa dorji yun korang chadir. Me tete na dene inde purpa yun dorji yun ke dara latso tamje chapchang tena no ndudu yore. Purpa la tu ta me nisi je ndu. Dene te ngarang tsu kutsar hlai ngajar gom tang toni samno tang na ngarang tsu zubo de korang te purpa chadu yobare. The thing to damn Ganelog Tony Samo Tandu, Naranzo Sam Rikpa, the Purpa Chadu, and then Nanki Purpa Caresina, Rikpa Ishich Purpa Hibat Chadu Bare.
The first verse, when a dark blue weapon, the perfection of self-born Rigpa arises in the gate of life force, and so forth, that line. So here we come to the teachings on the 4 kilas, which is very important to understand. So I'm going to explain that. So the first of these 4 kilas is the kila of wisdom, primordial wisdom awareness, the wisdom awareness kila. And before we already mentioned about the meaning of kila or purba. So the kila, the purba that we hold in our hands, is just like a symbol. But the actual kila is that is explained here. So first of all, the body of the Yidam, Vajrakilaya, Vajrakumara, is a gila, is a purba. So the upper part of the body is Vajrakumara, Vajrakilaya, and the lower part, the spike, is within the lower part of his body are all the deities of the mandala. And also when we develop the confidence of being the deity, the divine pride, we also recognize that the Inkilaya deities are present within our own bodies. And so from the ultimate perspective of the true nature of the mind, the Kila, the Vajrakilaya, is actually one's own mind, one's own Rigpa, or this intrinsic awareness. And this mind, this Rigpa, is the first Kila, the first Purba of wisdom awareness.
Tang darang aran soge rikpa ransar ji yishi senandra nismi pa ranzong ki yishinde teni chu tamche la je tamdu se chu tamche la je tamdu teni ta chu tamche ta ngaran zola tara nangwa ke ransin de nangdo ba ke ngoban de za tamche truwa cha de yore don la mayin pa la yin pa tar du chor sumare per na chanang ka dawa zungni de la dawa nguri samnen zin suma na yi korwa ka sabyan do so tamji nguneri si darawin zin sundu ta rikpa ranzong ki yishi de ke jen da yondu teni de kon korwa ke truwa tamji truwa nawan da tamji tanjin de pok de gandar lama me pa jen teni 다 다란디게 니스미 비 이식 침보 코랑근 모월에 만데바 데다베 그 동데 다란데는 데띵게 요라바 단데 체크 토네만 데띵 용거 요두 데니 나란 소게 소소 그 주는 좀데다고 가래 통거스나 다 닌진 그 똑소 니슨지부 똑소 추 탐제 세나야 간달 니슨지부 똑소는 닌진은 만두 봐요 말이 닌진 데라 데네 데네 코와 참아 데그 드랍 용거 요러와 코와 텔레 트고 요러와 데인자 닌진 그 똑소데 탄진도 폭도 봐이나 땅아랑서 르바 이시 추퍼바시다 퍼바 냠는 지두 데네 데브 가르치 무직 다 통토고 요래 단데 가츠제 Jun Rinpo jegen jen tani, ta de taban rewaji tonghyo sane, de taban mayinba, tata rang tongho yosi. Mune rane, ngaranzo sanji jo gompang tobi hibande, sho jing de na, tenda ka kable kabo je, mayinba tabi je yor, jumsing karesina, ngaranzo kijik je ge zoksang je songba yindo, semju ngo nelok 데 ngon toba zamji korwa lami je tsarwari korwa si yo mare yang di jiso ngarang zo ge layang de ge danzin de ge tsar chen yongdu deni ko yang korwa si tsar trabi yong ko yoroba denda yin zang nga zu ge ta dara perpa si jinde solo ge je ja ngopo ge zu yali perpa den ro je mayin ba yang yadam la ransin pa tawa ma yamba soso ka semje teni ke nelo ki yihi te yamba ha ko thoni tani ta nyamni nang go yore
So we call it the naturally clear knowing primordial wisdom, or the non-dual self-arisen primordial wisdom. It is this wisdom, this awareness, that it is said to seal all phenomena. And that is, sealing all phenomena means that the various things that appear, all the things that appearing in an ordinary way, when we see things in this concrete, ordinary way, that is confusion. All these phenomena are confusion. And that is because we see something, we kind of we think that something exists when it actually doesn't exist that way at all. So that is the confusion. For example, it's like when you see the reflection of the moon in water, and you think that that reflection is the real moon. So that is what creates samsara. We think that what we see, what we perceive, is real. And so sealing all of these phenomena with the self-arisen with the self-arisen knowing, clear primordial awareness, sealing all these phenomena with that awareness, is what then cuts through all the dualistic thoughts of samsara, all confusions. Cutting through them means that when they are struck, then none of these confusions remains. So nothing is left behind. That is the essence of the non-dual primordial wisdom. Actually, nothing transcends its nature. And that is here in this verse, that is shown, the meaning of this is shown through these words here. So how we can actually manifest that in our own minds is to see that not the various thoughts, the endless chain of thoughts in our mind basically arise due to a dualistic grasping, a dualistic perception. And it's that which really creates samsara. So when dualistic thoughts are struck with the wisdom awareness hila, then the result can become manifest. And now here, when we make this prayer, it is not that after some time, a long time, may the result be manifest, but no, it's right now the result has to become manifest. So actually, on the one hand, when we speak about this attaining of the state of Buddhahood, it's also not so difficult, because we also say that one awakens in an instant. And so just like that, by merely seeing the nature of the mind, already all samsara has completely disappeared without a trace left behind. There is no more samsara in this moment. But then again, we become bound, tied down by self-grasping. And so again, we create samsara. So this pupa, this kila, is also not this outer material thing made of iron or metal. And it's also not an ordinary, really independently existing Yidam deity. But through the practice, one should recognize that it really is the natural state of one's own mind.
Tene da dio de punkam din som dor jin color dan na hi tu da de chin dor ji ter semi ninji pur ban do lo temne tu ji jan da de mara yo dan de semi ninji pur ba so dan semi ninji pur ba hi ban de ngara zu kon ro rek tu bola je dab go yo bares dan ro rek tu bola deb de yang so so rani ji tamar ba na yin da we ne de ne de semi ninji pur ba de zang nu ba tung ko mi zang dan nu ba chir dan na dab go yo zang ga da go res na de so so rani pombo da kam da jin chi tam che de ne din som sam ba lai colony de ya je tab ne de ne din som sam ba de ta ra de simba da sima hiba da hima cho da chomo sen ta dig ran yin du de ne dig to ne de ne ro tam je le je tab ne ta dig ke chemi ni ji ge chang ta del ti ne de ne ro tam je 되게 재미 투지 진보고 지선 진바 다 대답을 되는 소소라니 라이 여달라이 가야 검부터네 단답 냠리 난고요래 단 타에 베심진 탐제 강다 남시 제도와 남바 잠나 띠는 트런도버게 심진 지 이는 존데 되는 재미니 지가 다 퍼바게 젠데서 그 열차도 요래 다 대답을 통니 되는 냠리 난고요는 도서 로용바갑수 semnala tingke 로고 요래 Telas Joina, Tini Jiram the Soremji Akom Tokuyore.
And then the next one, also on the bottom of page 4, is to strike the kila of immeasurable compassion. And this kila strikes the beings of the 6 realms. of samsara. And in order to strike this kila of immeasurable compassion, one should not see oneself in this ordinary form, because yourself as ordinary will produce the same power. So in order to increase our power of striking this kila, we must see our aggregates, the body, the elements and sense resources, as it is said, the 3 seats, which is seeing one's own self, one's own body as the deity. Then one strikes the kila of immeasurable compassion to the beings of the 6 realms. And striking this kila then means to kind of embrace, look after all the sentient beings in the 6 realms. And one does so here on the basis of visualizing oneself as the yidam, Vajrakilaya, and then recognizing that all these limitless sentient beings are confused, as I mentioned before, by the various appearances appearing to them. So they are liberated through the kila of immeasurable compassion. So that is what strikes and what is struck are the sentient beings of the 6 realms. So here also, when you recite this verse, as you keep reciting the words while also reflecting the meaning of these words.
동다 거든 이히 냠저we 미제 바르원 코 어트로원 돈트로지 산초 센저 프로바 염제 카르 템네닌 셈초 드르베틴 로효시 반다 가츠 장초 셈저 프로바스 다 장초 센저 프로바 시반데 간달 ngaran 조게 야염 게 따라 니스주부 조와 내가 돈이 송용거 요리데 동거 돌로 탑히 대화다 동바 대초지 송든 주바 델레데네 데네 용딘 탐지 렘지 저 혀용완데 다바 동다 데레 데엔도 동다스 동거 토니 데네 란섬 도르지 유나 데다베 임발라 데네 페나 테르말 테르당 데네 고파라 트럭 차파 인도 kondrarmehi yinda dramehi batene yongtin tamje korang la yene chabdo yo bare nyimala ser yinda de yenza ta hibada ta tene ta ngarang zo je la tam chowa tamje la supu je som se tarchin chu chomb hyag sori chag tigle la so banda so tamje tene ko hibanda ko som ta to so mela ramji yong yore tene yihi se nabar hibada number 다안도 number 히바데 number 다안도 이시 중어가 차대 요래 대다고 그랬더니 니스미 비 이시 대게네 lok데 데네 데네 대야제 동바 동장파 자체 다고 마인바 데네 동바 인인도 낭초바 나와 인인도 라인 그거 동봉어 인다바 다 대다고지 내가도 또 용바 있나 데네 델레테네 데네 ngaran zo ge durzadan simjin tamje go donde 데네 tle tamje 데네 juche me ba yong go yorese
ti khare ti derma kopan derma khare
tella temar ge chapa yin chapa dang gopa la trek chapa chabro
So then we come to page 5. The next kila is the bodhicitta kila. And so that is the union of wisdom and form, meaning and sign. It is the So this bodhicitta here is from the perspective of the non-dual union of the Yap and the Yum. And what it actually represents is the union of method and wisdom, or bliss and emptiness. And through this union, all of these qualities will gradually arise within one. And so it is this union of wisdom and form, or meaning and sign, is an indivisible union, just like, for example, the sesame seeds are naturally, indivisibly united with their oil, or the garlic is indivisibly united with its smell. So it's pervasive. So just like that, they are inseparable in such a way, where the sun and the rays and so on. And so then regarding meaning and signs, the various elements of the wrathful deity's appearance are signs that have a meaning. And so, for example, the deity's face is smeared with three substances, that is grease, blood, and fat, ashes, human ashes. So smeared on their foreheads, cheeks, and chin, which represent the three kayas, for example. And so in any case, there's more on that later. But this union of wisdom and form, the wisdom here is the primordial wisdom, which is recognized when one realizes the true nature, or when one has purified one's ordinary consciousness. That is when one realizes the non-dual primordial wisdom. And this wisdom is empty, but it's not just emptiness. But within this emptiness, anything can appear. There's appearance. And while things appear, all these things are by nature empty. So when that is realized, then actually when it is realized, then the activities to benefit and tame all sentient beings, actually these activities we're speaking of here
Dear Sangha members, give us 1 second while we try to reconnect with Ina.
Hello?
Yeah.
What just happened? Did everybody hear me, or what just happened? Something happened.
We lost. I don't know what happened. We lost you briefly. So.
So you heard what I translated?
We heard most of it. I don't know where you thought you ended.
Tel labsa tege tene la tanje yuntin tele tanje tel tsar ngunde chugris.
Di partu nga kosong
Kosam.
Oh, di partu ra. So So wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did you hear the thing about the garlic and the?
Yeah, I heard clearly.
Okay.
Garlic.
And so did you? Then chama lamaso. Then tomba tongkia member nga.
Yes.
Is that everything? And I said everything, I think, yeah? Sounds like it. Yeah. Di cancel course, nga kicha?
Gomasang.
Di komasang. Okay. So the Talchen, the course, the so gitse so myarawa Talchen na sopa. The course,
the yabo data the yabo gomasang. She got it.
the lag toward the la, then a Talchen.
The niche song. The name got on this.
Okay, so I think I stopped with I mean you stopped hearing me with the deity that, for example, signs and symbols of the deity are there's, for example, 3 smeared substances that are smeared onto the deity's face, which is the human ash and human grease and the drops of semen and raktam, which are spread on the face. Anyways, these represent, for example, the 3 kayas, and there's all of these pure aspects represent a pure form of the deity's mind, which is when consciousness, the ordinary consciousness, has become purified. It manifests as the essence of primordial wisdom, non-dual primordial wisdom, which is empty, but it's not just empty. It also appears. There's appearance within emptiness, and all appearance is empty of self-nature. And so when that is realized, then the various activities to benefit the sentient beings to be tamed, these activities will then just naturally manifest.
Tara the super Jason and truck tiller, the truck tillers. The need Kantaran Dickups Kunzup Zamjuan the sea on Bayona, the ne Yayom Yamper Jobalatin, the purple Kalatso Sama, Delicer Yonkuyoba, Tenga Teneri, Zat long tiller Pajarvaina, Tene Tamark Nando Tanjinga and Tapa. Fly Nabam Baki Harva to Sotamji, that ticket to Dredo Zelando Chadubare. Teni dati order that don't go somewhere, take the tick order that Demangapananke take it in Sima Zej Proba Shibanda think yore. Then Zantan Sima Zej Proba Shibanda, then the Sada Kareli Serendu, ta Dosum Geta. Dogsumbo the Satam Jelan Dago Yobaris. Ta Dogsumbo the Solan Demne, Tene Karet Yunko Yore Seriondu, Tene Naranzoke, ta Tamar Kapsu, Tene Naranzolache, Zangi, Ketan Zimba, Ninzin Lasoba Mambo Yobalatine, Tene Dogsum be Yawan La Hondro Yore. Tene Dogsum be Yawan La Honne. Tene Mundubene Natala Soba Jin Parche Yonkudu, that te tamje tene lama miba, tene Jomtaba, or that te don't that tere.
So the smeared substances are human ash, rakta, and grease, and so then. So through the union on the relative level of the Yab and the Yum, then so through seeing your own aggregates as the assembly of deities, then all ordinary thinking becomes severed. So from the perspective of this Bodhicitta killer refers to the practice of the channels, winds, and drops. So through this practice, ordinary thinking then comes to an end. And when that comes to an end, only the pure forms of the deities will appear. And then next, also on page 5, the second paragraph is then the fourth kila, the material kila of science, and that strikes into the 3 poisons. And what happens when it strikes is, so ordinarily we develop many thoughts, positive and negative, and many dualistic thoughts in our mind. And because of dualistic thinking, we are controlled by the 3 poisons. And then due to that, those 3 poisons create everything that we do not desire, various diseases and obstacles and difficulties and so on. And so this kila of science then is able to destroy them to their final end, completely destroy them.
Teni da tiwo de dema tukpa nang te ridwa. Teni ngarang ke ta purpa nyamni se bala tene teni ta du ye chong go yore tena ga tambo purpa du chong du teni nami lar tor se pumbo nga do jawa re nga gran yin cha de yore. Tela tene ngarang so pungkham lar sar du teni parche dang tensa ke yor de mi pa cha do go yorwa ngarang so la jin parche ke yero de mi pa cha do du teni tere 대자 마체바게 되네 동아르탐지 대친 대와침볼로 저 샤네 되네 대다바 용반데 되네 풍부두 좀시 되네 뇨모부두 히반데 되네 간당 아란솔라 남도 요레 남도인데 다 따라 그 뭐데 또 용두 되네 남도 주니지로 발데 샤네 간tar 추지 거랑 인터넷에서 하고도 봐 데이터 용거 요바래 되는 쳇다 그두 희반데 되니 다 나랑서 라체 제제완 당 각바라서 바긴 짐바 요는 존데 되니 나랑서 라 쳇다 그두 그 누바 요래 쳇다 그두 그 누바 되게 누 토코 요래 얘는 양 당 나랑서 근데 다 내로 그거데 또 용데 다 쳇다 그두 좀네 되니 다히 꾸마라 히바 인도 따라 된치미 세왕 그 공방되니 토코 요바레시 가인스나다 누주 담제 쟁거드 샤 되니 히바 나랑서 그 타마게 히바데 리바 이시 증오라 그 내록도 또 용두 되는 달라 잼체당 데이터부ke 지바 le yongsu tar tuge yo ba yin za
Then also through the practice of Vajrakilaya, we conquer the 4 maras, the 4 demons. So that's on page 6. So first, one conquers the demon of the aggregates by recognizing that one's body has the nature of the 5 Buddha families. And so when one sees one's own body and elements as the deity, then there's no more basis for various obstacles to arise. And then as a result, suffering is made manifest as great bliss. And one has conquered the demon of the aggregates. Then second is the demon of the afflictions. So when that demon is conquered, one realizes the essence of thoughts arising in the mind, one realizes them to be the display of reality itself, of dharmata. And then third is the conquering of the demon of death. And that is due to us grasping at the existence of birth and death, so arising and cessation, this Lord of death can harm us. But when one realizes the nature of the mind, then this demon is conquered. as we mentioned before, Kumaram is the youthful one, because when one conquers this demon, one gains control over life. One reaches a state of immortality. And all appearance and existence, or the universe and beings, appear as the mandala of the deity. And so when the ordinary consciousness, the mind, is realized as primordial awareness, as wisdom, then one will separate from all fear regarding death.
Tene da lao ke du ke jom de da jadang lai du hi ba de nga chu tamar ke nam yin ri. Nam yin yu ne zong de tene ngarang so nimong che wa cha la ne sin che wa ni ke pa la ne de wa na yin de ko nimong ke ngarang so zer cho cho de cha de yo re. Den za nam yin mi pa chi ban de ri de ta dung ko to la ti ke du ye de ka da wo ji ri sin na phum bu ke du jom de par che ke yor da tra re. Tene ngarang so ke nyumobu du chondu namto chuni juro wala xak yore chibdag du chondu teni ko de yun yishi ke yun tin tamji yen zo de yo ba ha ko wa teni da live du chondu teni ransom sanje ransom rank sem de ni sanje yimbe na tel pin de che lam du na sanje ke salan ro sin ro go ya mai pa che de ta ba che ngo che to ta ba yong go yore ta de da yong wala nga chum be zu nang go yo barwa.
And then the fourth demon is the demon of the gods, which basically is our ordinary distraction. And so being distracted, we are actually always kind of in between, kind of stuck in between different afflictions. And basically we are entangled in them, and they always are ready to arise. So again, when one conquers the demon of the aggregates, one separates from the various hindering, obstructing circumstances. When one conquers the demon of the afflictions, then all thoughts will appear as the display of dharmata. And when one conquers the demon of death, one realizes that the qualities of primordial awareness of the deity's form are primordially complete within oneself. And number 4 is when one conquers the demon of the gods, then one also realizes that Buddha is really a state that is actualized within one's own mind. Buddha is one's own mind, and it's not anything external that can be sought externally. And so this is what can be realized, and in order to realize these or to conquer these, we also have to make an effort.
Da de da ke tara tina na sumba yindo nyamni remchi yongde teni ngarang sola che propa dorji yong la yo yong tin tamje ngarang sola so ranche so ngut jorta ba tanda yire tanda chunga ina teni le ye ta yong tin tamje teni ran yin ke ngut jorne teni parchin dorji yong ko ba de la top hyo son de kandar top ko yore se mola yaba yinda.
So then if one practices according to how it is described here, so if one then through practice, when one actualizes the qualities of Vajrakilaya within oneself, then the 4 activities and all qualities will become accomplished. So this here we pray may attain that state of the great glorious Vajrakilaya. And so it's not just a prayer, but this is actually going to be attained.
Ya ta tene ti odo ta ngundo kartor street ta te kapso jatang aso te ma choga ndon de koram te ta ro ji ndong go mari te te ta andang ji ne chran sa ha kon ro ta man de he te man tin tra ja ya ba ina kartur te kare chin bu go yor sidu karso chungwala karpo gevele sibala tene japchur chinki mu tene lobong pe man jung ne tang tela soba ke tene rubo wanso tamje ke ka gu tam la ya ba te tamje la tene to man ber ne tin so chin ta tere nga ke timba ta simjing ke ton ji ge yin tela churan so ke ta nga la roba chi ha ke tu so la lab ya se ting je khala no to so te gera ta te ta ji ge yore tene tela chi chek thona ta tere tu so mo don de he yogom te and kartor de chapsang te res.
So then next on page 7 in the sadhana is the preliminary white Dharma offering. And so when you actually do the practice, this is not the exact order that we practice the ritual. So you can see the page turning instructions that tell you which page to turn to. But just now, we're going to, one by one through the sadhana. So the next one is the preliminary white Dharma offering. And the reason why we make this offering before we actually engage in the practice is because we are asking those spirit beings to grant their support in our practice of virtue. And so these are beings who have been bound under oath by Guru Padmasambhava and the great masters. And so those beings who have been bound under oath, we offer them a dharma along with kind of a reminder of the pledge that they had taken. And so we are saying that, well, since I am now about to engage in activities that will benefit sentient beings, now is the time to follow up on your commitment and help me. And therefore, I'm offering you this food offering, this dharma offering. So we don't have time now to go through each of those words, but this is basically the meaning of the white dharma offering.
Tan de kapso Khenpo che la tara ombeza amarta se to son don de che da sa kha ke ton ya ba cham la phyon yore de tene duchen che wa te ta we chok dor charam na yi the journey te ke che sinje lap thi se ko te koran chule jin ya ke to mai na re tene se jem na re to so tham je tene ong a hong si ban da Khenpo cha de yore si ba de ke tene pa dik teng che drama ta danzin ta so tam je jang tene a si ba de ke chur du chu ran yin ro yim ba tene du chu ran yin du chu te jam so ta ba chur journey hong hi ba de kap so tene ni sim me bok ton pan chu go yo ba jing go yo ba de Khenpo cha de yore te yin da ha mo je yo ma re.
It has one important point here in the beginning, those mantras. So the mantra Vaisha Amrita, so the Amrita Kundali, so on. So of course it's good to just recite this mantra, but also it's important to understand the meaning. And so Amrita Kundali, so here we think that Amrita Kundali, through Amrita Kundali, all the particles of this offering, like the Dharma offering or the Sergyam, the drink offering, are consecrated, are blessed, each and every fine particle. And then also the syllables Om Ahung are important in the middle of that page, on page 7. So Om means Om purifies all stains of self-grasping. Then A turns the offering into a delightful ocean-like nectar of pleasant flavor. And Hung is then the offering is made non-dually. It is given in a non-dual manner. So these are important, and the rest of the words here is quite clear.
Ya ta tini dema chuni na tini japsam tang tarate simji ndo jamro simji tan dosu kapso zo chehyu de ngarang zo ge ji 소소라니 하장 타마 반도 근 짐바 마이 보토니 고송 요ren 도소 탐지로 조 소소게 토가라 홍지 홍레 오저데게 야당글라 탐 프바 도르지 유나라 소바 탐지 걸 델레테네 테게 오저 탐지게 심진 탐지게 되니 셈 ranzongke rikpato so ya seji ne pena nyamata dawu ga helatin metope ma akha sewa na gi data bache ke number toni teni jamro semji to so ji go yore.
Then on page 12 is taking refuge and cultivating bodhicitta. And so what's most important here is that we do not develop ordinary thoughts, ordinary grasping in the mind. And so you think that from the Hung syllable, that's the heart, light radiates, and then from that, then many yidams, such as kilaya, emanate. And so then these are like the light rays radiating, and then these light rays then illuminate the awareness of sentient beings, the self-born awareness present in the mind of sentient beings. And it opens up their minds, which is just like the sun or the moonlight opening up a lotus flower. So just like that, we reflect.
Take dema juni nantana, simji nantana. Korwa dong na truk pusar se ti tsingtrain da pe Garchen bodre. Korwa dong truk hibada garare se na korwa hibanda dong na truk pa sibala ngaran su ge ni isme be yishi de yang ngu de jor go yorba. De ngu de jor de tene mare danzin pakcha de je ba tene me pa zon ro yore tanjin de phuk ne. Di junsin la tene de su kap su ngaran su ge semla ya top ji ne. 남주 ngaranso yadang la ke ngajar gomyan so zo chihyu ngaranso ke che timba dan rowa tamjela pinde trumba la topji yong yo re teni dig tone teni chemi yak tone je tamne teni tanda chindu teni ko rangi ke nuba thonlo mandawa de tanda cha de yo re.
So on page 12 in the second verse, one term is very important, and that is turning samsara into. So it's basically turning, like steering it from its depths. And so that is turning it over. Basically means that one actualizes non-dual primordial wisdom, and actualizing that completely destroys all ignorance, self-grasping, and all karmic imprints. And when they are destroyed, the power of the mind increases. And so also mainly when we develop the confidence of being the Yidam deity, then how it manifests, how this confidence manifests, this pride manifests, is as the power to benefit the teachings and sentient beings. And so then when this ability becomes embraced or sealed with the four immeasurables, then a real unique power to turn samsara upside down, it really becomes manifest.
Ta teo de teni dema chukson ba nangtina samju ba deren samju de ge zo chihyu ta nangang ge sar ma da se parche nang de mayong wa ta hita nga zo ge pen semje korang ne tene lower ge drama le de ba so chama chama zune ta je ya de ta de ge la yang ta de ge je lower ge drama la so ba cham mayong wa dong ge ton de re tene yang ko de ge pa chung dong da wo de je so so ge the drupa nyamle la part chu ba ke drabgai la so ba tham je tene char jingko ke nang de mayong wa de so ke dong to ne song ke yore de ndu chamju ba de dong de re.
And then on page 13 is the establishing of the boundaries, and we establish the boundaries so that the cities that we generate do not escape outside, and also that obstacles do not enter from the outside into the mandala. And so mainly, however, what it really refers to is the stains within one's own mind. Once they have become purified, then no further stains should arise within our mind. And that is represented here by these words, where it's kind of like a symbolic description of that through establishing these boundaries while we engage in the practice, through these boundaries, no obstacles or enemies and obstructors can enter the mandala from the outside. That's the meaning of boundaries.
Tene dio da hyakpare. Da hyakpa delande kapso namba yesung yo bare. Je karersna tabu topa tabu gone hyakpa asi. Ta topa tabu gone hyakpa hibade tawa singing aru. Tawa singing aru shibande rangi me bar ha ko thoni tene hyazi da tabu gone hyakbanda chada yore. Nipa gombo gone hyakpa asi. Gomba de jizo nyamling ko thone. Kantar tingin zin che tene tingin zin mayi ginda ta tingin zin rang la tin diga thone hyakpa nda chada yo bare ni ba de sumba de sungza tamsai go ne hyakpa se tene soso ga tamsai la tene jin parche kang song yo na de so tamje tene hyakpa chi ba nda chada yo bare tene yeba de la dongwa menga go ne hyakpa se dongwa menga hyeba de ta ngarang zo nam je dang yang chi ne tan dong yo ma de so tamje an do yong go yo re den za 다 hyakpa hibande kantar tsama zoa de donda terwa.
The next is confession on the bottom of page 13, and there's basically four ways which one can confess. And the first one is confession that occurs through realizing the view, and so that is called through the kind of the lion roar of the view, one realizes that nothing inherently exists, and therefore there is no separation between confession and what is to be confessed, no duality. Then second is to confess through meditation, that is through one's practice of the generation and completion stages. It is to remain within an unmoving state of samadhi, and from within that state, confession occurs. And the third one is to confess through samaya that one has committed to. And so that is whatever obstacle or hindrance arises, it is confessed. Basically, it is removed, purified through the force of samaya. And number 4 is the confession that occurs through the essential words or instructions that are being recited. So we are, for instance, chanting this in melody, in a rhythmic melody. We do recitations. And so in this way, also confession occurs.
Alright, ta deni dio ta tormala soba chupa silap de chadu yu bare de enze ta ngarang so de so sangha nyam nindala mira torsum sine yu de barwa deni to so tamje yangje ngarang so nansi sitan rehe mambo yu ko bare de gantar yang menta ragda tamje ke deni suso yedam ko la tamje ke soso ke chu loya ke ngoni de pa sinje lamdo ti ke tonda cha de yure de ta torma tamje yedam ko la ya chuzi ke herze na yin ngarang zu khala na yin chung ko yure jirdan de la ya chondo de le mangna de ke mambo hya yore wa de ne ya ye kan to hiba dang la hiba dang de la soba yore dana chadu yore ta dendu dene nga hong som ko thoni dene sinjala dene choba sinjala ba chadu yore.
Then next on page 14 is the consecrating of the offerings. So in the practice of the secret mantra, we have the offerings of Amrita, Rakta, and Dharma, and then there's many more subdivisions which can be explained more elaborately. But so in any case, in brief, these offerings of Amrita and Rakta and so on, Amrita and Rakta are the ones that are the substances that we consecrate the various offerings to the Yidam deity with these. And then the Dharma is the like a food offering that we make to the Yidam deity, which also can represent many things and can be explained in different ways. For example, the Dharma can be seen as the boundless palace or can be seen as the deity and so forth. There's many ways to see the Dharma. But in any case, so Amahung is what consecrates these substances.
Ta dene tiyo ta dara ngaranzo ti palatso te kaps rindo samaya bi dan de ngatsun di kaps te karchimboji ye lam devsam de gogo je karchimbo chade yore de enza ngaranzo de kare chadrisna tarati ransam ye dorji yun hibande ransam ye dorji yun de tene to na sanje ngomsar cheso de ne lo de to yondu tene sangje chuju ko ranzo chade yo bares de ye ka so te da tere tene drupa lam je kapso tene drupa lam ji dorji yuna de tabhi ko som yingai dani jin chade yo bares tene dela chu jun yin namjir sa se nanjol se nga zo nanjol pa si de nyamni nangkin de la ko yorde nanjol se kare se nal shibande ngaran so gandar ji chu tarati soso ge darake namba je thamar ge namto ngol khar de ban di ge namba de mayin ba dung dondam korang ge yinlo ge chorne gandra yin ba dig tola tini montune nyamli nangke de tabache ge chichane cha yong yo za da chuji yin nanjol sa shi patonda de cha da yorwa teni tarade toban rev dorji yuna hibande ta hi ngarang zo ge ge nga yi hi ge sin song ko yo bare ge nga yi hi ge dan de so ngarang zo hamo wade marek troala tin teni hamo watra cha de warwa den the marek troande namhe sangyong ba yina ti kapsu tudar semji nelo dondang ko yinlo ko ngote teni chongong de jo yong yo ba yindu yel lam revel sin and dan de karchim ba cha de yore
Yeshigo
yishigo
angikoro chignisumko.
Chatan yi nga de kala yi yorwa
Ah.
I chatan yi nga yorwa de kala go yo ngaran so la jin go yorwa jin go den sondong ro dere yi go de
Yina chignisumshu digoro 9.
under yes
So then when we come to page 15, the visualization of the Samaya being the deity. And so what's important here is to understand the basis, the path, and the result, how the Samaya being or the deity exists in the basis, path, and the result. So on the basis is the nature of one's mind. So the nature of one's mind itself is Vajrakilaya. And it is that when one realizes that, then the wondrous qualities of a Buddha become manifest right there. So one then accomplishes the Dharmakaya. That's the basis, the ground. And then Vajrakilaya on the path is to recognize that we speak about method and wisdom and the 3 kayas and the 5 wisdoms and so on, or the 5 wisdoms or the 5 kayas. And so he's the embodiment of all of these. And this Vajrakilaya on the path is referred to as the yoga, which is like an uninterrupted river, an endless river. So this term yoga, or also yogi sometimes, is naljo in Tibetan, and what it really refers to, the etymological meaning of the word is, so nal is like means innate, so it's the innate nature of phenomena. So when one perceives the appearance of various phenomena, they do not appear to one in an ordinary way. There's no ordinary concept about them, but one abides within a state of recognizing their true nature. So that is the kind of the activity of a yogin, which is like a stream of a river stream, an unceasing stream. And then on the level of the result, Vajrakilaya on the level of the result is the actualization of 5 kayas or 9 wisdoms. And so basically what is recognized is the true nature of the mind. And the reason why it is not recognized before is because the mind is obscured by ignorance and confusion. And whenever ignorance and confusion is cleared away, one actualizes the natural state, the nature of the mind that is free from elaboration. And so that is the important point here. To understand here the basis, Vajrakilaya in the context of the basis, the path, and the result.
That yeah, go for it.
La. So shall we stop the teachings here?
Because we can not finish.
Because of the time.
Right? It only remain 10 minutes. Probably. Yeah, I think it is better to stop here. Shall we stop here, or? Because early means we had remain only 10 minutes, so we do dedication. Probably it's better. Yeah.
We'll do the dedication prayers in a yellow prayer book.
Yeah.
On page 11. On page 11. By this merit, may I attain omniscience, having defeated the enemies, my wrongdoings. May I liberate all beings who are tossed in the ocean of samsara by the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. Whatever virtue sentient beings possess, whatever good they have done, will do, and are doing now, whatever goodness there may be, may it permeate all beings everywhere. By the virtue accumulated throughout the 3 times by others and myself, may all beings filling the reaches of space enter the gateway of the unexcelled path, and may they attain the Vajra holder's ground. By all the virtue actually performed and mentally created by myself and all sentient beings of the 3 times, may all beings of the 6 realms attain the 5 kayas and realize the primordial wisdom of the Buddhas in the Dharmadhatu mandala of the awakened mind. Glorious root guru, precious one who sits upon a lotus at my heart, hold me with kindness and grant me all accomplishments of enlightened body, speech, and mind. I pray for the excellent health of the guru. I pray that he lives a supremely long life. I pray that his activities spread far and wide. Grant blessings that I may not be separate from my Guru. May the Buddha's teachings, the only source of benefit and happiness, endure long, and may the victory banner of longevity for those upholding the teachings be steadfast. May the sound of the great Dharma drum liberate all sentient beings from suffering. Please remain and teach the Dharma for infinite millions of kalpas. By the might of this powerful merit, may the aspirations of the benefactors and their circles be accomplished within this very life. May their obstacles be pacified, may everything be auspicious, and may their wishes be fulfilled according to the Dharma. Just as the hero Manjushri realized things as they are, and as did Samantabhadra too, I will follow in their path and perfectly dedicate all these virtues. As all such dedications have been praised as supreme by the victorious ones of the 3 times, I fully dedicate all my roots of virtue to excellent conduct. By the blessing of the Buddhas who attain the 3 kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging nature of reality, and by the blessing of the undivided Sangha community, may my prayers be fulfilled according to this dedication. By the virtues accumulated in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the intrinsic root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious awakening. Great Vajradhara, Talopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Dharmalore, Gampopa, Pakmo, Drukpa, and Lord Drigumpa, may the auspiciousness of all the Kagyu Lamas prevail. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage gurus, divine assembly of Yidams, assemblies of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, heroes and heroines, Yogini and her assembly of Dakinis, all you dwelling in the 10 directions, please heed me. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of attachment, hatred, ignorance, pride, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, respect, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. At the moment of death, may I not experience the suffering of being abruptly severed from this life. May I not suffer a terrible death. May I not die confused by wrong views. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind itself and in the crystal clarity of Dharmata. May I in any case gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo. We'll do long life prayers on page 22. For this realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. Tenzin Gyatso, Lord Chenrezig, may you remain steadfast until samsara ends. Embodiment of the 3 jewels, great being who upholds and increases the teachings of the Shakya lion, supreme are your activities of guiding others with your perfect deeds. May you, the precious Guru who accomplishes everything spontaneously, live long. Holder of the teachings of the Lord Drigumpa, great Lord of the 3 jewels, through the power of your peerless compassion and the holy Dharma's peace and light, you bring relief to beings. May your life be long. The one known in the noble land as Arya Deva emanated into the Gar clan of eastern Tibet as Chadingpa, the heart son of Jigding Gompo. May the life of the glorious Garchen remain steadfast for 100 eons. Page 28. May the teachings of the great Drigumpa Ratnasri, Master of Interdependence, Omniscient Lord of Dharma, who has seen all knowable things, be upheld until the end of psychic existence through study, practice, hearing, contemplation, and meditation. Your 1,000 arms are the 1,000 wheel-turning kings. Your 1,000 eyes are the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate eon. Your love is boundless like space. I supplicate to the Bodhisattva Chenrezig. Thank you, Khenpo Tenzin, for your commentary. And everyone, please join us at 2 p.m. Arizona time to receive the empowerment of Vajrakilaya from His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche. Thank you.